Hey, buddy, why don't you and me, we have a little talk about the like button down here? I hit it. I think you should hit it too. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Welcome to the family.
None of my cash can flow, none of my cars are gold. Digital dash on hold. None of my cash can flow, none of my cars are gold. Digital dash on gold. Cash is digital, digital, digital. The dash is digital. Go, go, go. Digital, digital. Digital, digital. The cash is digital. Digital, the dash is digital. Run it up. Digital, digital. Digital, digital. Stepping like Marty McFly. Stepping, I feel like the guy. I got them looking like why. I never doubted me why. I never doubted my guys. You know you in it for win. I stand on 10, you on 10. I don't have friends of a friend. Only the fan of the kin. Only my wife and my kids. That's all I needed to win. Now I only trust my true friends. Had to cut off my loose ends. You know I win if you win. You know you win if I win. I swipe that cash, don't fold. I swipe my bank on gold. Don't think that I've been dumb. I spend like I've been broke. None of my cash can fold, none of my calls are gold. Digital dash on hold. None of my cash can fold, none of my calls are gold. Digital dash on gold. Cash is digital, digital, digital. The dash is digital. Go, go, go. Digital, digital. Digital, digital. The cash is digital. Digital, the dash is digital. Run it up. Digital, digital. Digital, digital. Living my truth, no tricks. I'm just trying to feed my kids. I'm just trying to keep my way. I'm just trying to live my life while we get rich. Mind my biz. Money gon' come, some go. Man, if you know, you know. I've been through highs and lows. Here for the ride, I go. Slide and roll. Up and down, but I get up. The numbers crunching, no sit-ups. I grew up and got dripped up. Purple label, my get up. That's 101, not a one and done. Month to month, and there's more to come. I told Cushy, let's run it up. Now it's millions on millions. None of my cash can fold, none of my cars are gold. Digital dash on hold. None of my cash can fold, none of my cars are gold. Digital dash on gold. Cash is digital, digital, digital. The dash is digital. Go, go, go. Digital, digital. Digital, digital. The cash is digital. Digital, the dash is digital. Run it up. Digital, digital. Digital, digital.
Me and my girl, we do cardio. I run like Mario, can stretch like Sicario. But that catches party on. I'm a Gemini, and she's a Scorpio. But that don't cross our minds when we on the cardio. Bet you on the peak, bet you on see something. We don't wanna give, we don't wanna give nothing. I'm a Gemini, she's a Scorpio. But that don't cross our minds when we on the cardio. Cardio. Yeah, like Super Mario. Yeah, yeah, when we on the cardio. When we on the cardio.
Check, check, 1 2 1 2. Check, check.
Mike, are you here?
I'm feeling lucky. How about most streets? Us two in these streets. Diamonds on my feet. Caught up in these talks. Circling my head top. Should've been more cautious. Now I got what I wanted. Many I've been here before. Made it out of 11 more. Like my from a Cortex, so I can't stop. I want it all. Listen up, I'm calling you. I need you to tell the truth. Remember when you wanted to. Remember that I said was you. Got you at the perfect time. I was watching it. You know what you're
February 10th, 2024, 10:34 p.m. Let's kick it about right. Transition now. Bitcoin. Look at this little guy here on the 1 minute chart. We are down in the dirt right here. I feel like maybe we should go over and
Ben Franklin claimed that this was the real call.
that was the right one. You're so smooth, little guy. So we get Taylor Swift's opinion on this matter with Bitcoin. Are we coming up to make a double top situation over here on the 1 minute chart? Got rejected there once. Could get rejected there again. Got rejected over here. Oh my gosh, it just looks like a land of rejection. Taylor Swift knows nothing about that, though. I don't think she can give us any insight on that. Maybe she would just say, just keep carrying on, boys. Go to the $48,647. That is where we have a measured move taking us up there. Should we just get past this one little level right here, and we will find out within the next 60 seconds if that's going to happen or if we're going to get rejected. Everybody is holding on to their popcorn, rooting for their favorite team here, but, oh, what happened there? No, what? I thought, okay, everything's cool. You're making a little bit of ground there, aren't you? Oh, the crowd is getting a little bit excited here as we wait. Sometimes they get a little hasty and they just can't wait on this 1 minute. Sometimes they want to sneak over and see what the 10 second is saying. I feel kind of tempted to do that myself because it just makes this a little bit more interesting. 10 seconds finding a little bit of resistance there itself. Is that a portend for what will happen, or is it getting ready to just blast off? Ichimoku Cloud says, baby, I'm ready to go. And right here I go in the 10 second. Here we are. Blast off, lift off. We have just made a higher high, and we are ready to rock on. All right, Bitcoin, 10 second chart. Look at that nice little higher high breaking up toward that $48,647. Will that be the cha-ching moment? Will you be cashing out there? I probably need to make some plans over here on my Bitunix leverage trade, which I do not recommend leverage trade. This is my 100 to 10,000 challenge wallet. Took $100, turned it to 1,000, and then I lost half of that. I own leverage. The rest of it safely over in spot. However, now I'm taking that little $28 that I dwindled 500 down to, and my golly, we're back up to 121. I'm just so excited. And am I a great guru that can tell you how to do this? All I can tell you, baby, is that the chop took all my money, but the big moves, when you catch them, is what gets it going to those big old levels. This is what got me from 100 to 1,000, catching a nice bottom to the top, just like what I'm catching right here. And even though I only got $29 into this little guy, man, I'm up 87% on this little guy. Oh, that's not all, though. I've got another 100. I started all over on a 100 challenge to $10,000 challenge a month ago, and it's taken me this long to get this thing positioned over here on leverage just to make this move. So this one, yeah, it's only a $23 trade, but it's only a $100 account. Well, they're an okay over here. We took $100 on this account. Put 50 of it over into spot and 50 over here into margin. I lost half of that, $25. So basically, I've took my hits, and now we got our position in. We're ready to rock on this little baby. And now let's see if we can make those gains. This is how it was done last time, was catching a nice, solid, big move. The chop is not where it's at, not for me. I can't give you any solid strategies for that, but I can for catching these moves, though. Let's go back over here. And what I did on that, let me explain this very carefully. I built this position up slowly. I didn't just jump on in. I built these up slowly. Not everybody does that. Some people just jump right on in, but this works for me to turn these accounts from little bitty accounts That's all I got to work with, right? I got to be careful with it. Nibble. I was doing $2 buys here on this other account, that $100 account. And that position's up to 25, and then of course it's in profit now, 200% last I looked, right? Unless this is where I added to it, may have done something. Where did you go, account? How did I? Oh, is this you? It's the Pink Floyd music that's getting me. Sounds like Pink Floyd, doesn't it? $23. That's all it is, man. That's all it is, man. But we did make a new high there, busted out that level. That's a good sign. Should I nibble on it? I could. It's kind of risky, but you know, hey. I'm up 256%. I can take just a little bit, another small little nibble there. If I got it, do I have it? What was that, $2? I can add $2 to this. Lower my entry just a little bit, but I'm still up. Got my stop losses set. Can't lose this trade, and that's cool. I know it's a tiny account, but I intend to use my principles and go to a bigger account. And right now, we got the move I needed. I'm capitalizing, baby. It's a surprise that, you know, honestly, what I've been looking for is to see what happens on the weekends. We normally have no volume. Now, I do not think that this is retail. I still think it's the big people just kind of playing around on the weekends, to be honest with you. It's not the retail we're looking in that will give us those big pumps up, but we're heading that direction. We're seeing that turnaround now. We're not seeing the drops on the weekends. We're seeing actual support. We got to an area where we started seeing weekends kind of support and hold, and now we're seeing where the weekends are starting to go up, and that is an excellent way to gauge this market as to what we're doing in the overall move on Bitcoin. I still maintain this is us. Well, this is what I went by, and I don't see anybody else doing the exact same thing here, but rising wedge to the upside, got a nice little bear trap there to really propel us up, break out of a bearish rising wedge pattern and go parabolic. Same thing we did right over here, same exact thing. Not a perfect copy, but the same elements are there, and then that was our run, baby. Slowly but surely. The only difference is that the halving was way back over here when we did this, and we've not yet got to the halving. Now, what does that mean? That's going to be the interesting thing. But let's take a look at this big old messy chart. Same thing, 48.6 and 50,500 is what I'm looking for Bitcoin. But, you know, this is just an estimation right here. She's got lots of wiggle room, especially if you start bringing these wicks into play. 52 could be in the picture. We will see it as we get it. Right now, we're looking for the measure move for this inverted head and shoulders, which is taking us up to that $48,650-something thousand $48,650 target area. Which, by golly, we might be heading up to right now. 15 minutes looks like we're ready to rock on Ichimoku. Let's go, baby. Show me what you got. Hello to everybody in the chat. Please tell me my microphone is on and working. We got Strega in the house. How's it going, Mr. Strega? My right-hand man, Strega. Dave P's in the house. Make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. I saw Mike in here. We got Dave Forget. Trade Intuition, Mr. Joe. How's it going, Joe? Joe, my man. For those of you who don't know Joe, you need to know Joe. Joe is an excellent teacher of exactly the kind of stuff I do. He's got his takes on it. I don't know how well we overlap. I've seen it. I got what we do, but Joe was brought into a trading group that I used to belong to, and when they brought him in, I thought that was the best thing that they'd done. I thought, oh, finally, you're doing something really useful with this trading group. You're really starting to run it. He was in charge of training the people coming in, and I think he even trained some of the people on leverage. Man, they got some great. They had some great material about the psychology of the market. I think I have that video posted, the audio for that video posted in our Telegram group. But just amazing things. Joe is the man, and he's got his own YouTube channel. Got to give it a shout out. Trade Intuition over on YouTube. I can't seem to find YouTube now. Am I on mine? I'm on mine. I'm not trying to be on mine, dude. I'm trying to be on just regular YouTube. YouTube. He is also over on Twitter. So give him a shout out. Show him a little bit of love. because the man knows his stuff. He's a boss in this game. I can't even get to YouTube right now. That is such a shame. I'm not going to leave here without a solid shout out for my man Joe. He deserves that. You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. Just type in. My computer's doing its own little thing here. I'm just going to go YouTube home. Can I do that? Thank you. All right, we just look up trade intuition. And we see Joe's mug right here with all these cool videos. Look at this, Ultimate Guide, Bitcoin Dominance and the Effect on Stablecoins. Are you guys familiar with that? Joe, catch you up to speed. You need to know about Bitcoin Dominance. Definitely. Joe, shout out, man. Appreciate you for hanging out. I lost my chat. Got to find my chat. Oh, let's get this little guy running. DP, we got Mike over here. Got Sam Webb. Joe says, would love to do TA with you on the stream one day. Hey, we can figure out the mechanics of how to do that. Yeah, I would. I'm all up for that. I'm still learning all the streaming stuff and all this graphic stuff as I go. And I'm trying to get a helium miner set up, and it's about to drive me crazy because it's still not online. My Kaspa miner is doing good though. Finding the older I get, the more I'm just like the technology that used to just amaze me, I'm getting like, I can feel the age coming in. It's like if something clicks in your mind, like, that's a headache. I don't want to mess with that. I never thought I would be that way, but it's starting to set in. Look at this nice little Ichimoku cloud suggesting we're headed up. So I got some altcoins to go over. If you guys got anything you want me to go over, feel free to throw it in the chat. We're up for that. Otherwise, I'm just kind of going over some of the blue chippers since altcoins are starting to move up a little bit. We got total 3 here. The bathroom wall pattern right here, just breaking to the upside. If I see a glory hole, I'm running away. All right. I don't know where they come from. I don't know where they come from. All right. So we're also watching Bitcoin dominance climb, and that could be a little something to keep an eye on there, but I'm mostly watching total 3s regain this $505 billion area here and head up about another 20 billion to come on in the market, pushing our altcoins to the upside as people get out of that nasty US dollar tether dominance. Not that tether is terrible, but the dollar, what it represents, is terrible. And they hang around each other. I don't know, man. I don't know. My faith in the dollar is very much declining in this day and age with what's going on in the world. But I digress. Crypto Bubble says, hey man, today's been a pretty good day. Beams up. Look at TAO. We got to take a look at TAO. Love this little guy. Been doing videos on this little guy for a while, and she just keeps climbing. She knocked out my $572 target. Nailed it, and then some. That was my bonus target, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. 541, 572, and she still wants to go. So what now? My board's all played out. We got to see what else is going on here. So I'm on the daily. I like the daily. Moving averages all look good on the daily. Taking a quick look at my indicators. I'm going to bump up to the weekly here. Let's see what's going on the weekly, the bigger time frame. Could there be a little bit of divergence forming there in RSIs? Yeah. She could also be doing a much bigger move here too. Oh, really, Elliot? Elliot, I'm not a big Elliot Wave person, and when he goes his counts over here, I'm like, I guess you have to really zoom out to catch that. Elliot suggests that it's already on a 5-way. I'm kind of looking at it a little bit different. I'll go, I can see his logic in that. What if this is the one, and this is... Oh, Elliot. She looks extremely bullish to me on that. I am going to respect this trend line. I am also first going to look for a channel because price travels in channels, and we just identified it right there, top resistance, and broke out of that little guy. Tells me a measured move for this little guy should be coming. That it is not beyond reason to expect this to reach $765. Rock on, TAO. I'm all for that. I support you. This rising channel is a typically bearish pattern, usually breaks to the downside. It's what we normally see. It's breaking to the upside. Indicates that we might get a little bit of a strong parabolic activity or a strong move right up here to this area. So, TAO, baby, keep it doing it. I likes it. I can't find my price tag. I'm trying to put a price tag up there. Where are you, price tags? I stole this from Joe. I remember seeing him do this, and I stole this from Jude. I stole this from you, Joe. Your price tags. Joe makes beautiful charts. I don't know if you've seen his charts, man, but he has made some beautiful, beautiful charts. So I envy that. And he knows TradingView in and out, man. So shout out to Joe. A lot of things I did pick up from Joe. I gotta admit. So TAO, I'm liking that. Joe being trade intuition. He's in the chat. Let us check out DOT. Good old Polkadot. My $5 stable coin is now risen to $7. Can you make it up to $10? You never even came back to my buy zone. Dot, what's up with you? What are you doing? We had a possible funky head and shoulders, which broke to the downside and didn't even meet the measured move because they suck. And in my personal opinion, you know, the more slanted they are, the less likely they are to play out as effectively. But that one's rising. Gave it a little bit more of a bearish slant in my personal opinion, but still just came right and touched the top of my line. She came down to $6.04. Not really where I was looking for you. I wanted to hit there, but doesn't matter what I want. This ain't about me. Now we just zoom out, look at our new information here, figure out where we are on the greater picture of things. Swing high to swing low. Technically still in that accumulation zone there. I mean, we're out of the micro accumulation zone. That was like way down here, 512. But this little guy, that 236 area, in my strategy, anything below that is worth buying and stacking up for. And we got a nice, it's rounding. The only downside, and I hate to say this about DOT, man, but unless we get above this 236, unless we get above 850 and hold that, and we could be flagging up here. We could be doing that. We could. Or we could just be, you know, doing Bart Simpson's butt crack one more time and coming back down to these areas before we go up. I don't know, man. DOT's been doing some wild stuff. Fundamentally, there's some things that I'm curious about with DOT because they're kind of changing the roadmap and everything. But DOT 2.0 is coming out. It's got some hype behind it. But it has changed since my plan to accumulate back in 2022 on this little guy. So overall, I'm seeing some good things, but we're just having to wait. And DOT right now is being a lot of opportunity cost. So I'm hoping that it is well worth it and that we'll do better than just reaching $48 this next time from where we are at 5. But just keep an eye on the possibility. There might be another butt cheek forming over here, but we like the butt cheeks. Butt cheeks will make us some money in the end. But you can also look at this as a type of double model. Made a lower low there and a higher high. Maybe turning this around, flipping this for support, and then trying to move up past 850 to 1144. That's what we're hoping for, but I just ain't seeing it yet. There's still the danger to come back and test this 21 moving average and this 50 moving average around this 568, 570 cent area. There's some good signs that it may be coming. Looking here on the weekly, on our MACD, we're not crossing, and those the angles of these are important, man. How they cross with the angle, the steeper the angle, the more intense that drop will be. We're leveling out. We're here. We're doing duck lips. I gotta get the graphic. The duck lips. Bitcoin's got a nice duck lip happening right now too, and I like the duck lips to fake out. Looked like we were going across, but nope, flip the script. We're below the 9 moving average here, but it crossed bullishly over the 100, so there's some hope. There's some hope here. There's some hope that this might be, you know, one of them patterns that will break to the upside. We could go into more detail on the smaller time frames, but I just don't want to spend all my time here on DOT. Let's look at the 4 hour, the one that's probably the most relevant to where we are right now. And we're above the 200 moving average with the little scraggly moving averages, the 9 and the 21, all those little scampers crossing over bullishly. And then eventually we'll see this 50, that blue one crossed over that yellow 200, and that will be your official buy signal on the 4 hour. It means jump in, preferably at the next pullback. So things are looking up. A little guy we haven't talked about for a minute is VeChain, which is definitely one that I made a point to stock up on. It's one of my bigger bags because VeChain just has a proven history of making gains, sick gains. How can I not say that? Looking at the 4 hour, we've crossed above the 200 moving average, man, just a few days ago on the 8th. 2 days. That was at 2.9 cents. We're sitting at, well, we're still, that's at 2.90 cents, and we're still sitting at 0.298 cents. Do you think when this thing reaches 30 cents, that it's going to matter if you bought at 2.029 or 0.0291? Do you think that's going to matter? Misa don't. Misa looking for a big payday out of this one. Well, this one can make some serious gains. We got a fractal here. Did we do a fractal? We did a fractal. Are we getting a fractal activity going on here? This is a fractal taken from, I believe it was way back over here. Last time it was down these price areas, and I would say there's some similarities there, but she's breaking down a little bit earlier. Maybe give it a little time. Finding some support here on this makeshift line I've got. It could tighten it up just a little bit, but she's going to the upside. I'm on the daily chart here. I do see some hesitation over here as, you know, this major trend line that we started out on kind of got breached and retested. So when we whenever price kind of meets it, wherever it might be, I'm anticipating about 5.5 cents. You know, may have some trouble there. But overall, that is set to VeChain is set to take some gains. And man, I'm looking at 13, 15 cents on that. And I think about that from where we are at just 3 cents right now. We just now hit 3 cents, you know. Boom. We're about 400 or 500% gains on that over time. This one's just been a proven winner, and she reached 28 cents last time she was down here. Just nice. Not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I did, and VeChain was one that I made sure that I was in. So watching a bunch of videos on the OBS plugins. Yeah, I had to go adjust my mic, and hopefully when I play it back tonight, I've got some of the kinks worked out in my sound. Dave says the XCN is moving. Well, we got one hit of Quita. Is he in the house? So we got Strega. And there's one hitter. So XCN, let's take a look at that. Onyxcoin, okay, I've heard of that. Can't remember about it, but I've heard of it. Overall, $46 million market cap, 48 billion maximum supply. That's kind of like XRP. In those areas, looks like. All-time high for this guy was a year ago. It was 18 cents. An all-time low just 4 months ago. So we're 99% down from an all-time high. So that's one sign that might be worth getting into. If it's got something going with it for a long-term hold. If you're just trading, well, that's a different story if it's moving. Multi-token type money market, community governance. Let's look at the chart, see what's this. They got on Mexi futures there. And let's see, we got it. So we can go with KuCoin there. And I'm on the weekly and it just looks flat. So we got to come down here at 4 hour. There we go. There's the pop. Nice. I would like to see some more volume there, but there is some, so we got that. Ooh, I like that. It always reminds me of one of those old bridges, and you'd see them do that and bounce to the upside. I'm sure there's an actual name for that, but inverted scallop or something, but I like it. If you follow our trend lines from wick to bodies to wick to bodies, identify a possible bear trap, which I would say is probably confirmed since we're making a higher high and seem to work for us. So jumping above this 200 moving average, things that look like they're for a go for the short term. How are you looking on the bigger time frame? You're above the daily moving average. If it can hold that, might be the cross we need to start seeing some upside. Have we got divergence? That's wild looking. What the? Where did it go? I've never seen this happen ever. I've never seen the line just totally disappeared. Or is that just flatted out at zero? Could not go anymore. I've never seen them do that before. Bottomed out and squared out. Interesting. Well, accumulation pattern that we're trying to break out of. 5217 looks like a nice little juicy area. That 618 Fibonacci area about right up here too. She looks ready to do something, but I have to ask, if you're into it here, you must be in for it in the long run, because that's where all the serious money would come into. You make some serious gains on that. If it comes back up just to retest this area back up here, how much is that? Like 8,000%? Hey, take the risk, you get the reward, baby. Unlocks it, like what I'm saying. They clear this area, which it hasn't quite done it yet, but clear that for some more upside, start making some higher targets, and start getting those percentages in, man. Good deal, Stringer. Like says version 2 is coming out in 2 days. Was that Polkadot by chance? Are you talking about DOT predicted? If I'm trying to make a forecast for how I think it's going to do during this market, I want to go to swing high, swing low. And the fibs, man, they don't lie. I'm just telling you, the fibs play out. Excellent tool to do your strategies on this. And I just keep it simple, man. I know. One thing, it made a higher high back over here during the bull market. That might be positive. That it may have a little bit more into it. If it does, I'm kind of looking around this 1.27 fib level. That's just what I do. And I'm usually not disappointed when I do it. Can I explain why? Because it works. That's the only reason I can tell you on that. Below $15 for DOT, and my strategy would still technically be, a really good deal to buy it overall. Accumulation, even though it's at the extreme of that, in my personal opinion. Remember, I like to take it from the local area to figure out accumulation, which we're in right now, and we could be breaking out of. Let's hope that that's the case. There are some signs saying that. But for the bigger moves, each one of those fib levels are excellent targets, and the main one that I'd want to focus on all the altcoins, when I'm looking on this, and especially if they made a lower high than they did, say, the previous cycle, meaning they probably won't do as great, I'm always targeting that 618 for it, or the 0.5, because they may not make it up as high. So I want to make sure I at least take some profit on a long-term hold. On if I'm investing or something, at least take some profit in that area. So if I were to say on DOT, I like 35, I like 44, and if I'm trying to go bigger, I'm looking for 69, and she could go, do a lot more than this, but This does stretch over a nice period of time here, so she's only got so long before this bull run is over. This is right here at this point in time, right here, right where my cursor is. That is September 2025, pretty much the peak of the bull market. So just what I see here on the charts, 69 looks pretty good to me for DOT. Sorry, at this point you expected $500. Maybe it will. I don't know. Maybe something crazy will happen. It can. But if I had to be conservative and kind of just be reasonable and realistic, $35, $44, $45, $70. And now I'm like, well, I'm not going to get a Lambo out of that one, am I? And that's what I mean by opportunity cost. So hopefully they got some good plan to replace version 1.0, which apparently did not quite work out. However, Osmosis in that ecosystem is just killing it, kind of stealing all the limelight. They kind of did what DOT set out to do. So I mean, both of them. And I got to tell you, Osmosis has been more rewarding. Shoot, the airdrops alone. Did we take a look at Solana? Dave says for XCN. Oh, okay. Let's take a look at XCN again. XCN. Who's interested in a longer time look for that one? All I can do is go by what I see, man. And let's see where we can get the most. Do we have the crypto? Got CoinEx. I'm looking for a good chart. Crypto. This one doesn't give me volume though, and I like to see the volume, but it gives me. Should give me the best history. This is the weekly TradingView chart from TradingView, where it was 10 cents and it just hockey sticked out. Dude, it has no previous history other than that from what I can see. So, like I said, I would be looking at 6 cents just to be on the conservative side. And she's got to get above 2.5 cents for me to consider that she has any future at all. So she's got to come back and touch that area. But if you wanted to get real hopium, I mean, these areas right here, that would be the first one at 13.5 cents. But I don't have anything, well, starting in 2022. They could. It could. But those are some nice gains from where we are now. That's 2,000% just to get up to 2.5. Get up to the 618 area at 6 and almost 6.5 cents. That's 5,000% gains. What is that? 50x? And if it were to make a higher high, my target would be, golly, that'd be 11,442% gains to make it up to 13% from where it is now. So some huge, I mean, even if you're just putting a few $100s in on this, that's some serious gains. So that's what I see, whether it will happen, you know. I don't say the future. INJ, baby. Over on the Cosmos ecosystem. What you doing? So I got a dotted line. Those are like my secondary. Those are little test lines that I have. It's like, you know, we're trying to see what's happening here. Because yeah, kind of a support resistance flip area here on this horizontal line. And we seem to be having a little bit of a hiccup there with INJ at the moment. I don't think it's anything serious. If she comes down, well, first of all, I mean, I've got a target about 1850, but I'm always saying, you know, I'm on the weekly chart here too. I always look at the 20, I always look at your moving averages. Lost the 9, I would be looking for the 21 to be hit, maybe about 22, 25. Move that little guy up there. Lost the sell pressure up here along that top trend line. But if she can get up there, we got a 64% chin up. Oh, that was for this little guy. That wasn't for the channel. That's for this little guy to break out. Well, in a smaller time frame. We're still watching him on the smaller time frame, just kind of in this pattern we're trying to figure out. It's starting to look like oh golly, it's a sin brought in pattern with a right angle toppy top. It's got like a Yeah, that's the 64% chance to break to the upside. Crazy, but it could. One that I like that we chart every once in a while. This is one of my dark horses. I haven't talked about it in a minute, but this is Decred. Little hybrid proof of work, proof of stake kind of thing going on. Really cool. I likes it because she was over here. I do this all the time. She was $12 back here back in 2020. Got up to 20 something. And then it was a skyrocket pretty much up to $250. So, yeah, that's why I like her, and that's why I'm doing it again when she's in this price zone. So she's been on some ups and downs. Let's see if we can clear this chart out a little bit on the weekly. Lost my trend line. Did you? Or did you? Not technically. We're just wicking below it. It's not the greatest sign, but still showing some strength there. Above the 200 moving average, still in the daily, so I'm cool with that. But yeah, that trend line was kind of lost right there, and I'd have blasted through it. Now it finds it as a resistance. That's just kind of wild. One that's on my radar for some bigger things. If I got a target, I'm looking for it to get up $25 and beyond. We got Tectum over on MEXC. Well, we actually put a trade set on this. Been kind of lackluster, to be honest with you. Had a little highs there. I'm on the daily chart. Looking for Tectum to come up here and retest $45. That's the first target we got. Here in this area, though, taking this trade is still valid. I mean, putting your stop loss below this area that it just does not seem to go. It doesn't want to go below $25. Great place to put a stop loss. Maybe a little lower in case the market makers come in and say, hey, let's go freak them out. Let's go put one of them little springy things on them. Take all their money and make them mad. They could do that. But they are starting to go to the upside right now. I like that. All those moving averages are just all twisted together right now, and I want to see who's winning out. So far, the 50 is starting to be the toppy top one, and the 9 and 21 have crossed. You know, I mean, technically, it's barely crossing it. So I'm not seeing the volume I want to see in this move. So I'm calling it a little bit lackluster right now for Tectum. And come to the 4 hour, probably see this little culprit right here. The 200 moving average just can't seem to get above him right there. But on the 4 hour, we are above the 9 and 21. They look good, crossing the right way. Coming into this red Ichimoku cloud, and that's usually a good sign. Guys, it's chop, noise, and really, you got to get above these areas right over here. About $31.94, $32, and hold that before just clear this whole little box area here before we really start seeing those big gains, in my personal opinion. But it's just coming. Just be patient. She should be working on it. Regaining this 200 is what we got to see. We'll see what Lucy's up to. She got anything to play in this? Well, Lucy's way down here, man. Look, our bigger movement at 400, the 666, the 366. Joe, I'm using some crazy moving averages here, man, but have you ever played around with a 666 moving average? I just did it for a joke, but when I started back testing that thing, I was amazed. So I call it the Lucy line. It's crazy. Take a look. And this one was going to be the 365, but the 366 kind of worked out. And then of course we got the 800, which, you know, just a bigger metric there. I like to throw them in every once in a while because sometimes they can just give some amazing information. So Tectum, just a slow play. I think it looks like we got a 618 foot Fibonacci pulled back and bouncing off that area. Looks like that's kind of like it. If you put it way back, doesn't really matter. I like this move here. See what she does here. Tectum's been a strong one. I like it. We looked at TAO already, right? Here's one I got into that, I don't know, a lot of FUD came out about it. It sounded really cool to me. It's still a project. They're supposed to have an airdrop for the testnet people. It's still in testnet, so that's the safest way if you want to get in on this. But there was a big dumpy dump on SatoshiVM. So I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this one long term. It looked like a very promising play. It would be if it's a solid project. Anonymous team kind of makes me a little suspect, so I don't know. Fundamentally, I'm starting to wonder, especially with the FUD. But right now, it seems to be doing some recovery, so just give me back in profit, bit. We need to come back up to this $8 area. Flip it, and I will feel better. Right now, we're just common accumulation between 280, maybe up to 532. Those would be some targets to look at. My personal opinion. It's supposed to be BM. Will it float? Will it last? Just like most of the new coins popping out, man, we don't know. We don't know for sure. But there are some nice new technologies. There's also some nice new shiny vaporware that will change the world. It's going to reel us in. If you're trading, you can trade the hype and you can be okay. But if you're investing, and well, you might want to go sit some serious money in there for a little while. You might want to do a little bit more homework than what you'd normally do if you're just trying to get in and out of the market. Sam says, do you think Superfire might keep going up? We'd look at the chart. Is it super? Super, yeah, Superfire. Okay, so on Coinbase, is that the best one? That's probably the last one to come on the scene. Let's check it out here on Binance. What we got going on here? Super. Well, this is smaller time frame things here. Let's take some of the, clean it up just a little bit. I don't want to have some things on there, anything to make me old patterns to give me some bias. Ichimoku Cloud looks promising. It looks really, man, weekly is showing some good strong signs here. This thing's ready to rock. This thing is ready to explode right now. $1.21. There's a level I got. Yeah, that looks reasonable. And it may blast right through that. It did before. It can do it again. 298 is the 618 Fibonacci pull from that guy. Bigger time frame. See what we got on this one. And let's meet this little guy. I like 136 for a target. I think it's definitely headed that way and possibly higher. It definitely has to retest the high that was at. So these areas about 213 should come into play. But 298 actually looks like a good. In this area actually looks like a strong target. I've got a blue line up here, which is usually my code for measure move, but I can't for the life of me see what that would be just looking here. So I want to take that with a grain of salt. It may have just been a Fibonacci line that I colored wrong. $3.76. So she's doing some cool things right now. She just flipped this area, ready to come up to this one and possibly more. So yeah, I guess to answer your question, I think it looks like it's going to be going up. Even says if one goes up half the all-time high, I'd be happy with that. How is one doing, man? I had promised, you know, in Harmony 1. And DeFi Kingdoms was over there. That was another thing. They moved. Sucks when projects move from one chain to another. Oh, I got a lot of junk over here. Is that oh, that's a moving average. What am I on? The weekly moving 200 moving average is coming in at 5.9 cents. Well, there's your first clue where it needs to go. So here on the weekly, a little bit of a breakout with some volume, but now we're coming back and it's right in the leg of that trend line right there. I hate it when they do that. They come back for a retest, instead of bouncing, they just kind of stay over that trend line. I don't like that. But the good news is that, you know, price is coming down and also volume is coming down. And that usually means that all that downward sell pressure is about over and we should actually be getting a bounce. Support resistance flip for that area. So what we're at 0.13, we're back in this area right now. Really, this is a good place to get one. On the 4 hours, just now flipped to 200. So we got our first signs of things getting ready to get good. Got some other bigger moving averages. 100 to 50 still kind of down there, being, you know, they're going to be the joy kills, you know, the backseat drivers, you know, for a little while, pulling us back. Why won't you let me shine? Let me go. We got to bring them on board, get them above the 200 moving average, and then this thing is really ready to start moving. Oh, what kind of crap we got up here? Failed possibilities. I want to clear out anything that I don't need. Yeah, old stuff. So yeah, breakout and retesting that trend line. Notice how that's kind of curving there a little bit. That's a nice sign. And it made a lower low, higher lows. Now we got a higher high. We're ready to rock on this little guy. So right back up into these toppy areas. 2.2 cents looks nice to me. I got a blue line there. It's probably a measured move. I just cannot remember what from. But we've got a channel, or if you want to look at it as a descending triangle, you can do that too. But you know, descending triangles, nothing but price in the channel gets a partial decline. Either way, I'm just going to go straight up, straight down on this channel for my measured move. Pop it. You usually put it right where the breakout, but you know what? I think a little bit more accurate if you put it like the retest, if it bounces from here. I just find that to be a little bit more accurate for me. We had a trade set up here, but at that price, looks like she got stopped out. So sucks when that happens, but it does happen. But if you're trying to accumulate this, I always say, man, pyramid in. Bigger buys on the bottom, and that's the play I do. Most of the time, I'm playing something like that because I'm usually swinging these for, you know, a lot of my trades go for more than just a week or two. So a measured move take us up to about 3.4 cents. A lot of times what I do when I'm sitting there trading, when I'm doing all this plotting this out, if I'm in, I'm just putting limit orders at some of these target areas, and you know, a certain percentage here, a certain percentage up here. And if it's something that I really like, I've adopted the rule that I will not sell 100% of my bag. I will usually only sell maybe 50%. I like the moon bag strategy. It's one of the things that I do. Not everybody does it. I like the way it works out for me. Messy little chart there. So some key areas, but I'm mainly looking about 34 cents for one, or not 34, 3.4 cents. It's got some gains there. But it's a good sign that she's retesting this trend line. We should get some more upside. It should start looking up, even though stochastics are a little bit high right now. They can get pinned up there for a little while. It may not be a nice solid move straight up, but she's in a good position in my personal opinion. Striga says, loving the reverse feature on Bitunix. Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Mike says, SUKU already has Twitter integration? Really? We looked at that. You might have been the one that requested that. I think we looked at that. Coinbase has got it. That's always a good sign. And we've charted it there. Oh, so we're looking at a possible, not yet confirmed, Adam and Eve bottom. It will not confirm till we get back up to this, what we call a neckline. How do you get a neckline on a bottom? Can somebody explain that to me? It looks like a pointy and a roundy, and then when price gets up here, about 9.7 cents somewhere. If we confirm that and flag out above it, it's a good chance that it will go up. If we can't flag out above it and we can't get above that line, there's a good chance we might come down here for a double booby. A double booby pattern somewhere through here, and then maybe go to the upside. Double bottom pattern with a neckline, so again, which makes more sense. Maybe it's a throat line. But if we do confirm that, man, the measure move would take us from this area up to 1.59. So the deal is, for things that I like, I see this as a very good accumulation zone. And your most conservative people would be looking for a strategy to come in over here after confirmation. Me, the little degen or the little, I don't know, the whales are over here buying in these areas, accumulating. The people that really, really want, they're just slowly accumulating through here. So that's the smart move. That's how I like to play it if I'm trying to get in. This is perfect area. Just my 2 cents. SUKU. This is the daily chart here. And I've even got 24 cents as being a possibility from where we are now. So that's like, what, a 5x? 81 cents possible coming. It's kind of did a hockey stick, but it's doing some nice little shapes down here. Might have something going on there. Let me check one other indicator here. This MACD. Are you duck lipping on me? She looks like she's trying to duck lip. I don't know. It's hard to see, but she's doing this kind of weird thing right here. But if it continues up like this, we're good. If she starts wanting to cross, well, that's a different story right there. Especially a big time frame. I've lost my charts. What happened here? There we go. Joe says, oops, what did he say? I stay away from those numbers sometimes when I have a price target and the price ends up in those numbers. I put the target in a little bit lower. To front run the targets, yeah, if you really want your areas hit, like you knock off your target or you come up, it's like your Fibonacci's and things like that. A lot of people do like to front run them if they want to have their targets hit. And avoiding the psychological numbers, that's also another one. I see a lot of experienced traders. I'll see them do their trades, and almost all this is blank even number 2,500 or blah 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 evens, and I'm just surprised. But if you go with the odd number, front run a little bit with some odd sense, that's what Thomas Bukowski recommends. Crypto Rich, man, welcome to the group. MUBI and Multibit. Let's take a look at MUBI. Or is it MUBI? I'm going to zoom out to the daily chart. Well, she took a nosedive. Looks like we're at a 786 retracement area. Let's see if that's right. Just below it, heading to the 886. Okay, so I'm marking that one. I would definitely be looking at 0.06. I would be looking for that fib right there. And pray that that holds. Now, it might front run it a little bit because it didn't quite make it down as low over here. Meaning that if it does make it down low, it'll make a lower low than that. And, well, what you could expect is a lower high from what you got here, which would kind of indicate maybe you might be looking for something lower. I mean, it could happen. So just be aware of that if it actually does come down lower than what we had over here at 6.2 cents. But she should be headed now, since she lost this area, down there. Let's come to the 4 hour and see what it says. That's what I'm rolling with. And then from here, then that's normally a bottoming Fibonacci level where you can get a reversal. That's normally what you would see play out there. And since everything is looking so bullish right now in the market, I would be inclined to think that, yeah, it will. It looks like there is some subtle rounding, if you want to see that going here. I mean, we're not making a straight line, right? I mean, this channel is not, well, that is, but now, and it could come all the way back down here to 16.2. It could, but let's be real. I like angles. I like playing with the angles. You learn a lot from that. Wouldn't have seen that otherwise. But see, it's starting to do a little bit. I think there's some hope. I'm just trying to say, I think there's some hope that it might bounce here. That's all I can say at the moment. If she doesn't, I'll be looking for the divergence, which is coming into play here. And that is, what that means is price here swinging low to a lower low. But yet on our RSI, and maybe some other indicators, you might see this too, we're going from that same low and it's starting to swing up higher. you can gradually come on down and just negate all that if it, so it's not a guarantee, but it's a good sign. Depending on what kind we got here, this is the regular divergence, which is normally the trend changer divergence or the bottom. So, and it may still have to come down these areas before it actually kicks in. So Ichimoku Cloud does kind of suggest that right now. A little bounce up, a little bigger bounce down, maybe. And what was the other one? Multi-bid. Multi-bid over KuCoin looks good. Wow. You trying to find a good deal, ain't you? Oh, wait a minute. This is the same thing? It's the same thing. I just on a different chart. Never mind. Mike says, why do I think about the 50, 100, 150, 200 daily EMAs converging to buy during the bull run? Well, you're asking me if they all converge? Like if they just all come together? It depends on where they're flipping up to. Because that would be a flip. That would be a bullish or a bearish flip if they're all converging and coming together. And you got to see the crosses. My strategy with moving averages, I used to use EMAs, and I would always say that until one time I cleared out everything here and it erased all my moving averages, all my indicators, and I put back regular moving averages, and then I noticed, man, the moving averages are really more on target than the EMAs for as far as where price will actually touch it. To me, I think the simple moving averages are just the way to go. But you got them and they just kind of move wherever. But you're saying like if they all, it depends. I mean, if all the smaller ones are crossing over the larger one, then that's bullish. But if it's the other way around, if the big ones are, I mean, and it's also, if there is it just gradually crossing, or is there like a big major cross going on? Usually you don't see them all do it at the same time. But if you got an example, I would like to see it. I'll put it up on the chart and I can at least better talk about it. Or explain my thoughts maybe a little bit better. You want to see them cross, or some people call them getting tight, but they don't really specify that you can actually tell which way they're going to go by the way that they're crossing. You can. That's what they do. But then they start spreading out, and that's when the move is really, really going. Like this move right down here on MUBI to the downside is pretty strong, and it's just riding underneath that 9-moving average. Eventually, it'll get away from that 9-moving average more than likely. Could get away from it, or could just cross right over it right now and then start turning things around. But hopefully that explanation made a little bit of sense. Maybe I was a little bit on target. Mike says, I front run. Hell yeah. You are here to out trade everyone else. What about HOA on Pulse Chain? Well, if I can find it, I will chart it. I just kind of doubt this on TradingView. Yeah, that means I got to go to probably Dex Tools. So you asked for okay. So I'm guessing I'm guessing this one. Well, you can't deny it's on the upswing. Pulse Chain seems to be doing good. But she did take a big hit, man. She took a big hit and coming up from the bottom. So if you got it around the bottoms, you're making some money. If you bought it too high, you're probably still waiting. My nibble started a little higher, so we're just kind of like at break even right now for me on Hex anyway. But it's not a huge bag. But it sure shrunk down. From when over these past few months there. So basically, I'm just looking at a channel, and it's making higher highs and higher lows. And you follow the channel, it gives you a good idea that 8.4, 8.5 cents, maybe the next target before it comes bounces. You know, just going to ping pong between here until the one day that it decides not to. And if it does that on the upside, then you're looking for a nice big juicy move to the upside. So I mean, the only thing you can do in the channel is, you know, take a measured move within the channel, kind of guesstimate. After you confirm a breakout, you move it to that breakout and it'll give you a fair target. If it's breaking to the upside, it may, you know, oh, you're so cute, let me show you what I can really do, and, you know, go past this target. But this would be your a solid area to look at to take profits. Measure moves are pretty amazing. They are actually fairly accurate most of the time. I mean, that's why we call them out. I mean, they very often get hit. And if they don't, you can usually look at the chart and kind of figure out why. You know, a lot of volume in the market, a lot of front running, something like that can affect it, but usually they're right on target. TA will change the game for you if you don't know it, and just learning a little bit of basic TA will, I mean, but the real challenge is all up here and how you execute that trade. That's the real secret. The TA just kind of gives you the roadmap that you need to follow, and you need that roadmap. You need to understand, hey man, this is a probability of what can happen. But as you're trading that's when your emotions start coming in and say, man, you wrong. It ain't going to do that. You better get out. You better go in harder right now. Your mind tells you all kinds of things, and you will screw that trade up if you start listening to it. And that's probably the second biggest challenge. And then from there, you start getting more into risk management, how to not to lose as much when you do lose. Calculated losses, I guess, I can't always see that. And then when you start trading leverage, you got to throw those rules out the window for a little bit, because leverage just amplifies everything, and you got to get used to that. Oh, okay. Mike's giving me some examples. CTX. Okay, so I'll tell you what, let me take my moving averages off. We'll come over here to the indicators. Okay, so we're going with EMAs or EM? Okay, you did say EMAs, didn't you? So we'll just do a 5 MA. We'll add another 5 MA over here. I'll come over here and customize it. Their colors are all jacked, so it'll probably trip me up for a minute, or I'll figure it out. So you got 50, 100, 150, and 200. Oh, so everything other than 9? Oh, just a... Oh, shoot. Okay. So we just turn this little guy off. And you're saying converging, right? So this is the convergence. This is when they all get tighter, right? If I'm understanding what you're asking. And if you're looking on a bigger time frame, maybe this is what you're talking about. So they're getting all together here, right? And it's just a question of the smaller ones crossing over the bigger ones. When you see the smaller ones crossing over the bigger ones, that's bullish. That means we're going up, which I'm not used to this color code, but I assume that's what's happening here because we're getting all the other indicators popping off. Let's pull it back up. I've got those same one. I don't have the 100. Yeah, I got the 100. I got all those. Screw that. We'll go back to mine. I'm trying to make this harder than what it is. Just turn mine back on. The only difference in mine is that I got a 9 and a 21, but I got a 50, a 100, and 200. I don't have a 150, but you know, that's just going to come in between those. So on the bigger time frames, we're still getting the same. Yeah, it's bullish. That's why I like using the 9 and 21. It kind of gives me a heads up on what's going to happen beforehand. I mean, you got some of these guys are out here saying, you know, they're doing some crazy stuff. Well, not crazy, but I mean, I guess it works for them, but price may be coming up. I'm not crazy. Price doing what price does, you know, and Oh gosh, I can't even draw here. And price will get somewhere, and then I've seen this. I don't agree with it because I think it sets a bias. So they're going to do this or do this, and I'm like, well, you know, there's also some other options. You know, it could just do this or this. But the idea was to wait until something comes back to the 21 moving average, which might be coming under here. Well, my 9 moving average is going to give me a heads up when the time is to get out of this up here or get back in it or whatever. I'm going to get a heads up of what price is going to do before they kind of figure out if it's going to bounce here or drop through. Does that make sense? I get an earlier signal because I use a different tactic. And it also lets me see what price is going to do a little bit earlier than they see, which gives me an edge on trading against those guys. And you guys too, because that's what I'm showing you here. Price is about the 9 moving average on the larger time frames on the weekly on CTX. Man, this thing is bullish beyond all get out. There's no reason to look for this thing to be bearish whatsoever right now, as long as we're staying above the 9 moving average on the weekly. Indicators are crazy on this one. This one looks hot. Whatever this is, this one looks hot. Cortex, hot, 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 hot. It just broke up past this. This was the resistance area. It just broke up. This is bullish, man. This thing's getting ready to freaking pop to the upside, like $1.35 pop up. Cortex, what? I'm making me want to FOMO in. Mike says 100% mentality and patience. Amen. It's hard too. Oh, did I get the wrong CTX? Well, whatever this one is, this one looks hot. If this is the wrong one, this one looks hot. Where is this? On Binance? Mike says, I'll buy this CTX now. Oh, yeah, CTXC. That's what it is. What is it? I like the chart. I don't know. I've heard the name, but I don't know nothing about it. Cortex. 57 cents. $125 million market cap. Still a small market cap. Circulating supply is 218 million. Total supply is 300 million. I like that. Kind of cool. Definitely accumulation pattern. It's technically still an accumulation, so it's still early to buy this guy. 76% cheaper than its all-time high 2 years ago. Now that's a little bit of something to look at. So its all-time high was 6 years ago. It didn't make another all-time high last time. So this is an instance where, I guess if we're zooming out, this is one of those. We don't have the whole thing though. Yeah, we'll go back to 2020. But we're talking about 6 years ago. So it had a higher high at one other point, and we don't have it on here. So this is one of those instances where I would just, I would be cautious, and I would be mainly looking at these areas. But here we are. It looks like this one might have a better go around. Maybe the technology is a little bit more applicable now. I don't know. But if that was its high in the last bull market, man, we made some kick-ass gains so far. It looks promising to be this early. Maybe she'll make it up here. 175 area. Maybe. That's awful bullish. This could be considered as a bear trap, technically. Breaking back into that previous trend line, which what are you, Cortex? I want to see the website. My interest is peaked. This one is CoinEx. Hey, there's a link in the description of CoinEx. Mexi. Somebody breathing in my ear. So we just stumbled upon this one, and I like the chart. We're going to check it out. Static my FOMO. AI on blockchain, decentralized AI, and I've not heard of you. You're not sticking to my head. The decentralized. Well, it sounds like it's possibly one that's technology was before its time, so I can see why it got a lower low. Maybe why it's so bitching right now. First decentralized world computer capable of running AI and AI powered dApps on blockchain, launching ZK Matrix Layer 2 Rogue ZK roll up solution. Okay, we just stumbled on something here. Let's go over to Tokenmetrics, see what they say. trader is definitely in buy zone. Investor in buy zone. I was hoping for that valuation grade. Fundamental grade 66, good on that. Technology grade 70, it's got good scores there. Here's that post-it note that I only look at when I write something down on it. CTX C, and you're on next C, is that right? I'm interested in this one now. Smaller term time frame, 2 hour time frame. Might be getting a little pullback. Got some bearish divergence there. And looks like a juicy retest might be in order. And if so, she's what, 57 cents? May not make it back to 48. Might come back to that 200 moving average though. Oh well, yeah. On the 4 hour, 200's down here. 48 might happen. It could happen. It's got to break some trend lines to get there. I'm looking on. I might be looking on getting in on this guy on the pullback. CTXC Cortex. I like the shot. Bobby C says Kaspa. Can't remember. Did we look at? No, I don't have it on my list. I guess we didn't look at it. Kaspa, I was expecting to see about 15, close to 15.5 cents get hit, retesting this high that we had before. Still looking for it. I'm a little off on it, so if you're actually trying to use that as a target, might want to front run it a little bit. Other people will be looking for that as a target too to sell. I'm just saying. But if you're in here for the long run, which I am, I'm looking about 22 cents being the next target, with maybe a little hiccup around 17 and 18 cents through that area. But I'm mostly looking for 20, right at 22. It's not Cortex, it's yeah, I know. I got it on by accident, but when I saw Cortex, I was like, dang, I liked it. But we did look at CTX though, right? Pretty sure we did. But we're talking about the moving averages and all that stuff, right? On like the bigger time frames. I think we said that she came in here and bounced, she's flagging out, finding support on the 50 moving average. It's below the 9 on the weekly. I mean, she's in a good, yeah, we looked at this. It's in a good place to go up. But then we stumbled on Cortex, and then I liked that one a lot, so we got lost on that one. That's all that happened. This is accumulation zone. We probably will fib just to make it a little bit more official. See that? How beautiful that just works out. Same zone. Right there. Accumulation. So, just to be clear, I'm looking for it to bounce. When you see it bounce up above that level, it's good. It's rounding out here, getting above there. It may still be shaky on the way, but honestly, Ichimoku Cloud coming in here says it's probably going to get up there and start taking off a little bit. So the higher highs and higher lows. Taking off, I don't mean straight up, but, you know, stair stepping up. Bobby sees I'm looking at the fib around 33 cents for Kaspa next run. I don't doubt it. The Kaspa, I think will probably, it may come close to $1, which I'm cool with. I'm holding for you. I suppose it depends on how you calculate that. What did you say about the 33, about the 1618? Yeah, that is a good target. That falls in with Elliot. And just fibs in general there. Cool. I think we got the 21 here. I think that was mostly... Can I click it? I'll just draw another one. I think that was a measure move. idea, taking us right up to that area with a 618 pullback. I'm expecting some more serious resistance here. You know, just higher highs, higher lows. But yeah, 33 cents. Yeah. I'm really shooting for 80, 90, $1 out of Kaspa. Mike, you literally looked at the same chart. I don't know. I'm not getting it. I don't know. I'm trying. Sometimes I screw up. Cortex looking better. Cortex looks pretty hot, man. I'm liking Cortex. I don't need. And it's an accident. After stream, I'm going to seriously try to talk myself out of FOMO into Cortex. Bobby C says, actually, is it holding long-term Kaspa, $2-3 Kaspa 2025? It could, yeah. There's some thought, and I don't want to put it too out there, but there's some suggestions that maybe our run may continue a little higher. Like 2026 is being projected as probably being a more positive year than not. So, and you know, that's nothing in stone. It's just all rumor and gossip and everything. But ideas to think, something to put on the back burner of your head, not to get caught up in the super cycle. But it is one thing to consider when we got the 4-year cycles with Bitcoin. That cycle's never going to change. I don't care what you hear. It's always going to have a strength of supply every 4 years. That's always going to be the thing. But the length of the bull runs and the length of the bear runs could be changing. Could get shorter bear runs and longer bull runs. We might be seeing something like that happen. And so I'm wondering if we might get a taste of that if things start continuing on to early 2026. So I'm just keeping my eyes open for those signs, but it's way too early. But if it does, man, can you imagine? We got 2 years of up. I mean, up and down, but a lot of up in there. Oh, Strega said so too soon. my Lambo. Strega cracks me up. I think Strega's a comedian. All right, I have nothing more on my list to go over right now, and it is getting close to midnight. When do we start at 12:30? I think I'm right on time to close this out, man. It says Ribbon Finance. What is this? You caught me with one, Mike. Ribbon, I've heard of it. Let's check it out. On the weekly chart, she's testing that 9-moving average, trying to figure out if it's going to hold or not. Basically, just like you broke out of accumulation area to me. Let's make it official. Oh, so close. So close. Technically, you're getting rejected here. At accumulation. Top piece. That looks a lot like the other chart. It's doing the same thing. It's got the same, there's some good signs here. It's just that you got rising price and falling volume, which means that there's not enough there right now to get us where we need to go. So there may be a pullback. It's indicating there could be a pullback. Let's go on the daily. How's the daily looking? Still could be. We're in wishy-washy land because we're above the 9 but below the 21s. Like, we're turned upside down on top of our head trying to figure out where the hell am I? Why does everything look so different right now? So she's got to get her bearings under here, probably bouncing off the 50 again, maybe. Or popping up above the 21, maybe we'll go bullish. This is where I can draw my trend lines to give me an area that says, you should exit here. So if we drop down below 43 cents or something, start breaking this trend line, you could probably go to the wicks if you wanted to be on the safe side so you can get faked out. I would say that breaking below the 39 cent area, breaking this trend line would not be a good look. But it doesn't look like she's trying to do it right now. So caution there. Price always travels in a channel. Identify that channel, get your lines, get your angles right. And we're going all, I guess we're going to the wicks. I'm normally going candle bodies to candle bodies because I think that's just a little bit more accurate, but you do have some extremes here you can play with too. And you might want to do that in this channel because it looks like it likes to wick up there. So, I mean, we're looking at maybe getting up to 60 cents from where we are. If we can just get across that 21 moving average, we get just a little bit more pumpy pump to the upside there. But this 50-cent area, we need to tackle that. Actually close some candles above it and keep it. See that, then that's thumbs up for next fib level, and then working our way up here to $1.10 on that 618. Thereabouts is. So the person, I think she's got a good start. I mean, we don't have our three humps yet. We can get 3 humps out of this little guy. That's what I'm saying. Obviously, it says 2 years to be absolutely. I know, and it might happen. I mean, seriously, if you think about it logically, I mean, crypto's here now. We're going mainstream, regulation and everything. They were not considering this a while back when they were laughing at us all. And I think people are starting to see the value of it, and starting to see how just afraid governments are of it, and starting to see how much we've been lied to on not just on this, but every freaking thing. Jeez, I'm trying to go down that rabbit hole, but it's true. And it's being exposed. It's being exposed. I'm going to throw up the video tonight that I did last night. If you didn't see it, you might want to make sure that you watch that. It'll kind of break this all down to you. I just got, yeah, there we are, Elite Plan. And actually, I think I want to take you guys there now and say goodnight. I'll be back again tomorrow. We'll check out the weekly close, see what's going on. But things are looking bullish, and we've got volume coming in on the weekend. That's always a good sign that, hey, man, things are starting to go. And just like, you know, what we're looking for, I really think that, you know, this is what I saw and stayed true to it. And it seems to be playing out. So I'm sticking with this idea, man. We're here. We are here, somewhere here. Same place that we were almost 3 years ago. Back in 2020, except for they had a little bit more upside so far, a little bit more fervor. Ours just isn't coming. I think we're going to see something along the same scale, maybe. It's just taking a little bit slower to get here, but we're doing the same thing. I see up, and I've been seeing up for a while, just with a pullback. And my whole warning has been, don't let them fake you out through this, man. Make you think we're going bearish, because this is what they did last time. And then they, I was in on that. I was getting bearish because I was listening to people. We're going back to 3,000. There's no way that we're not doing it. I'm like, well, you know more about TA than I do. So I get Crypto Savvy. I fell into some of his traps over there. Yeah, I'm not doing that. They take this market off and they blast it. This is a messy chart, but hey. We broke back into our patterns, so I'm seeing 48 to 58, maybe even 52 out of Bitcoin. Just gotta take it little by little. But trade carefully. We'll see what they do tomorrow when CME opens up around 5 o'clock, and then of course I'll be back here tomorrow night and make our plans for this next week. But thanks for hanging out with me, and check out this video.
Ben Franklin claimed that this was the real cause of the American Revolution. Most of the founding fathers realized the potential dangers of banking and feared bankers' accumulation of wealth and power. Jefferson put it this way:
I sincerely believe that banking institutions are more dangerous to our liberties than standing armies. The issuing power should be taken from the banks and restored to the people to whom it properly belongs.
That succinct statement of Jefferson is, in fact, the solution to all our economic problems today.
Here's how it works. They print it, we borrow it, and we pay them interest.
This is garbage. This is garbage. Your people in South Africa, you have your rand, right? That's going to zero. That's going to zero. This is going to zero too. Euros are going to zero. The yen's going to zero. The Chinese currency is going to zero. It's all going to zero against Bitcoin. If you don't understand that yet, you're going to be impoverished. You're going to be on the street. You're going to be begging. You're going to be out of business. You're going to be toast.
James Madison, the main author of the Constitution, agreed. Interestingly, he called those behind the central bank scheme money changers. Madison strongly criticized their actions.
History records that the money changers have used every form of abuse, intrigue, deceit, and violent means possible. to maintain their control over governments by controlling money and its issuance.
The battle over who gets to issue our money has been the pivotal issue throughout the history of the United States. Wars are fought over it, depressions are caused to acquire it. Yet after World War I, this battle was rarely mentioned in newspapers or history books. Why? By World War I, the money changers with their dominant wealth had seized control of most of the nation's press.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media publish these things simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 All the Trump supporters that I talked to who were Trump voters.
He's trying to undermine the media, trying to make up his own facts, and it could be that he can actually control exactly what people think, and that is our job.
Yeah, that is our job.
You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets, and they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls.
These authoritarians hate Bitcoin, and it's for the same reason. Why do they hate Joe Rogan? Because they can't control him. He's not subject to their authoritarian power. Why do they hate Bitcoin? Because they can't control it.
There's only one useful thing that any of us can do every day when we get up. One thing that matters above all. That one thing is convince someone to convert some other form of property into Bitcoin.
By a show of hands, how many people hold Bitcoin? Not bad, not bad. What I would recommend highly for anybody who doesn't, get off zero, like today. We'll talk a little bit about it. But what is it? It's an open, decentralized network that's open for anybody, and no one can stop it. It's impossible to stop.
It's impossible to stop.
Come on, come here, boy. Come on. You freaky dog.
I don't need to analyze. Every word that comes out is a lie. Make it look like it's so ice, ice, ice. You won't make it to the finish line. Now if you gotta know the truth was gonna let you go. You was fine, never mind, unpredictable. Fade out of the ground, you ain't no one. You a star, blow it up like supernova. In the nighttime, hit my hotline. Sharing secrets, you wish really was part your life. Basic bullies, with no bullets. Does your wifey know you're begging for my notice? Promise you're the same, running for the meds. Show you like my vibe, pass my candy on my wrist. Bad habits, little rabbit. Now sit down, you can have it.